So this is the bag of all my camera gear. At least the 35 millimeter cameras I keep in this custom made backpack that was made by a good friend of mine who was a Westminster firefighter. So inside the bag, or inside the backpack, it was designed to hold one of my Nikon 35 millimeter cameras. This happens to be a 14 to 74 millimeter really wide angle lens for shooting wide angle landscapes images. So then we carry another lens. This is a 24 to 70 millimeter wide angle also. But these two lenses alone about all I ever need when I'm going in the field shooting landscape images. So.
Hey. And what are these other stuff?
And then all these are various filter holders that I carry. Like sometimes when you're shooting images like this one here, you have to use a special filter called a split neutral density filter.
Okay.
And it fits into a filter holder like this. And then the filter slides in and up and down in the filter holder. And it also gradates from clear to about 2 stops. And what that does, like in that image right up there, it doesn't wash out the sky. It keeps the exposure between your foreground, keeps the exposure from your foreground to your highlight, the top part of the image, in a photograph when you're shooting it. So if you wash out the highlights, there's no information there. So I tend to use what I call a split neutral density filter when I'm shooting images like that. So that's what all these are various filters that I use. Most of the time I don't use a lot of these, but sometimes they come in handy if I do need them. Little blower brushes. This blows the dust off the front of your lenses so you're not touching it with your fingers.
Oh, so you don't use like a cloth to clean it?
Yeah, sometimes I'll put a cloth. I'll take one of those lens cloths and get the lens off the front, the dirt off the front of the lens. Yes. If there's a lot, most of the time there isn't, but this is an easy way to do it. Just blow. You're just blowing instead of using the little rag, you just take this and you blow the dust off the front of the lens like that. So.
So cool. Wow. Okay. Something fell off. No, it's a tag.
Then you have other gadgets. If you want to put this as a little adapter I put on the bottom of the camera body so that if I want to shoot, if it's going on the tripod, I can, instead of taking the whole thing, the camera, and bending the whole top of the tripod on an angle, this allows you to flip it like that, back and forth. So it comes in really, really handy. Another thing that's really handy when you're out in the field, keep a nice little pair of fingerless gloves in your backpack too.
Oh, that's a good
because it's hard to shoot photographs if your hands are frozen.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
But that's about it for the backpack items.
It's such a cool bag, Gary.
Yeah, it's pretty functional. I've had this bag for a number of years. It's been all over the countryside with me.
And it was custom made for you by your friend?
Yeah, that was made by a good friend of mine who was a firefighter. And he was in the luggage business for a while, so he custom built this backpack for me.
That's so cool.